Hello, Daily Drafters, and welcome back to the channel for today's Daily Draft. Once again, drafting Murders at Karlov Manor here, having tons of success in the format. I've drafted this format 11 times so far, and had 5 trophies, 5 7-win trophies already with a 70% winning percentage. Knocks on wood that continues. We will see if it does, but we're going to dive right into Pack 1 Pick 1 here today with probably Lost in the Maze, X Blue Blue Flash. Whenever DTBs tap X target creatures, put a stun counter on each creature that you don't control, and tapped creatures you control have hexproof. It's just pretty darn good. You can protect your own creatures with this. You can tap down their creatures, put stun counters on them. Very, very high upside with that card there. So we're going to start with that. And where do we go from there? Well, the only blue card to follow it up is Benthic Criminologist, which is not a good one. We've got Murder. We've got Inside Source and Neighborhood Guardian. Gosh, white is just... I do like this format. I like the format. But are you guys all experiencing the same thing that I am? In fact, that white is just almost too much better than everything else? Like, the best 2 cards in this pack are Neighborhood Guardian and Inside Source. I might take Coerce to Kill here. This is a nice little start to a blue-black control deck. I don't really like blue-black. I tried it once, and I don't think it was... Well, I know it wasn't very good. We went 0-3 with it. But I think Coerce to Kill is still a good card, even in a fast format. So I think I'm going to try it here. Now, I'm not locked into blue-black at all. I would very much like to be blue, as Lost in the Maze is a good card. I guess we could take Fairy Snoop here. Seasoned Consultant, also fine for white aggressive decks. I played a lot of white aggro on this channel. And like I like to say sometimes, I do want to make sure that I post, you know, at least some variety in decks that I draft. And not just, you know, trophy decks are fun, but if they all kind of look the same, it's not as fun. There is a Killer Among Us here. I don't think I'm going to take it here. It could be close. If we had a Sanctum of All, I would try it. That is a nice little combo. But let's go ahead and take Fairy Snoop. Now there's Slimy Dual Leech, which is a little bit more of an aggressive black card. There's also Investigators. But there's a Slice from the Shadows here, and I think I'll take that over Crowd Control Warden, Sample Collector, couple of green cards. Cryptex is horrible. Hotshot Investigator's too expensive. So let's take the removal here. What is this? 2 mana 2/2 whenever it deals damage, each player gains or lose a life. That doesn't seem very good. There is a Fester Leech. I don't know if it goes super well in this kind of deck. There's also a hard-hitting question. We're not really locked into blue-black, but like that's where most of our cards are here. I think well, you know, Fester Leech is still just a good card, right? Even in blue-black control. Still seems good over hard-hitting question going into green. I guess I could go into green. This is a good card. But I'm going to stay black and take the Fester Leech and... You know, this blue-black deck is already looking better than our 0-3 deck, as it's got at least a couple of threats already. Blue-black usually doesn't struggle for removal, so I'm not going to take the accusation. I do think Agency Outfitter, if we're able to find both a Thinking Cap and a Magnifying Glass, could actually be a nice little win con at the top end of a blue-black deck. Everything else here, I mean, there's red-green, but we're so far away from that. I could take Accusation. They went this way. There is an option to have dived into green with this draft here, too. But blue-black is currently the worst performing archetype on 17lands.com, interestingly. And I am willing to give it one more try for the masses here. Take another removal spell over a second Agency Outfitter. Fayflight, that's a card I do like. There's Shady Informant, Gadget Technician. Both of these I could flip, but I do like Fayflight. I just don't know how good it's going to be in this kind of deck. Is that actually worse than like a Shady Informant? This is a good option to be a 2-for-1. Honestly, the deck that we're building, you know, I still think Feyflight has a higher upside, and we could find some crazy bomb in pack 2 or pack 3 that we feel like we need to protect with the hexproof clause of this. Go ahead and cut Ally Assailant here. Not really interested in playing many of the other cards right now. The only blue card did come back, but there's a Cerebral Confiscation here. It's just Mind Rot, and maybe that's good enough. We'll take it. And I'm going to see if we can build a blue-black deck that bucks the trend of being the worst deck in the format. It's the deck I've had least success with, so I'm going to see if I can find some success with it here in some way. Lots of blue and black cards, so that's pretty good. I think I'll take the Investigators. Have to be careful with my curve a little bit. We did not wheel the Thinking Cap, notably. And I would like to get at least a Thinking Cap and a Magnifying Glass for this Agency Outfitter here. Alright, we swung and missed on the rare. But there is Forensic Researcher, Crime Stopper Sprite, and Unscrupulous Agent, all of which are pretty good for the deck. I think Researcher is both a ramp spell to our 6-drops and a potential tap spell if we're able to collect evidence enough. And I think that's why I'm going to take it over Agent and Sprite, though I would definitely play both an Agent and a Sprite in this deck. But let's go ahead and take Researcher and be careful about the early part of our curve here. I don't think this is going to be a Mistway Spy deck. 3 mana, well, 1 mana for a 1/1 flyer, or whenever it's turned face up, you can investigate when it hits. I don't think that's going to be us. Same thing. Candlestick cares about attacking very much. I'm going to take Extract a Confession here. Pretty clear this is actually where our deck wants to be right now, so let's take that. Not the day for you, Niv Mizzet. You're not even, like, that great if you build around it. I'll take the Agent here. Not a bad pickup. Macabre Reconstruction. We don't really have the bombs we want to try to get back with this. We're just playing a bunch of derpy creatures here and a bunch of controlling spells and removal, so probably not a Macabre Reconstruction deck, but yeah, based on the decks I've drafted recently and had success with recently, I'm less thrilled with this than I have been with many of the other ones, which makes sense as blue-black is the worst deck in the archetype. Worst archetype in the set. Chalk Outline. Probably not. We have Collect Evidence, and we're not playing a ton of creatures. I would like to try build around this at least one more time. Seems like it's fun, and for those of you that are Lords of Limited fans, they released a podcast this week on how to draft this deck, so check them out. They are great content creators that I also follow as well, so we will take another Unscrupulous Agent here. Wow. Yeah, this is the perfect No Witnesses deck, but don't think that's what we're going to do here. Currently have 10 creatures in this deck, interestingly. Basilica Stalker would actually be pretty good, but I'm going to go ahead and take my first Thinking Cap, because I do want a Thinking Cap and Magnifying Glass for this Outfitter, and I think that's going to be important. Look, he's even wearing a Thinking Cap. So we have to get him his Thinking Cap. I didn't even notice that. Okay, some good stuff here. I do like basically all of these cards. One thing I struggled with last time playing blue-black is it did not have enough creatures. And I think Eliminate the Impossible is a better card than Fairy Snoop. But Fairy Snoop blocks well, and it gives you card advantage, which is, I think, what blue-black wants to be doing. So I'm going to take that. Ooh, Persuasive Interrogators is a nice little win con for the deck. If we can find enough ways to make clues, which we don't actually have a ton of right now. But that is a nice way to go about it. Okay. I do actually like Flotsam and Jetsam. Is this a Living Conundrum deck? I don't think it is. Unfortunately, you will have to live another day. We're going to take Flotsam and Jetsam. I do like that as a controlling spell, and we can cast both sides of it here. I'll take the removal spell in Dramatic Accusation over a Sanguine Savior here. We're not actually super high on removal currently. Could play Rakish Scoundrel. It does flip up for black, but I don't think that's something this deck is particularly looking to play here. I'll take the land and probably not play it. We have an entire next pack to fill out this deck here, and we basically have a deck already if we want it. So, really hoping we get a late magnifying glass that we don't have to take over really anything else. Ooh, Basilica Stalker. I said I would play it. How about Vein Ripper? 6 mana, 6/5 flying. Ward of sacrifice a creature. And whenever a creature dies, it drains them for 2. Yes, please. That is busted. Now, if we can wheel this Macabre Reconstruction, that would be great. But we're not passing Vein Ripper. That card is stupid good. Less good in this pack, unfortunately. No Magnifying Glass. There's another Confiscation. There's an Accusation. And there's a Mortipede. I think I'm going to take the Accusation and might not even play it, to be honest. So let's go ahead and take that. A lot of 5s and 6s here, which is not great. So we're going to have to figure out a way to bridge that gap or just cut a good amount of them here. Oh, man. Well, Case of the Stashed Skeleton, I think... it wants to go in a much more aggressive deck than we are, but the thing is, if we just chump attack with our skeleton, we get to Demonic Tutor, which is probably going to be good for us if we have a Vein Ripper in our deck and we get to Demonic Tutor. I don't think we want Criminologists. We could play Jaded Analyst. I don't think we want another Coroner. Definitely don't want Scene of the Crime. So let's go ahead and take the case here. Ooh, I love Out Cold. Out Cold is the exact kind of way to bridge that gap between the 6 drops. I would play Eliminates, and I would play a third Slice, but I do really like Out Cold here. Okay. Yeah, I guess if one was good enough, I guess I'll take another one. Another Stalker. A Macabre Reconstruction could actually be okay in this deck, especially with Vein Ripper in the deck. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Out Cold and see if anything... Ah, darn. If this were a Magnifying Glass, we'd be okay, but it's not. How many detectives do we have? 10? When do we get 10? I think I'll take a Bubble Smuggler over a second Outfitter here. We have 2 more picks to get a Magnifying Glass. I don't even think I've seen one this entire draft. All right, let's do another Out Cold. I mean, I'll play 3. I've played 3 before, and I think it's good. It goes well with Persuasive Interrogators. It does investigate. What is this one again? Probably not for us. It's a little bit more aggressive. I don't know if I want another Flotsam and Jetsam. Wow, that's a late shock. And we did not get a Magnifying Glass. Maybe I'll play this. I don't know. I think I'm going to play that over a second Flotsam and Jetsam here. And now I guess I could have taken that anyway. I'll take a Stalker. It's going to be an interesting deck build. I got a lot of cards to cut. Our archetype is wide open, but there is a reason for that. It is, as I've said before, the worst performing archetype in the set currently. So we're going to have a lot of cuts to make here. Jaded Analyst could actually be a nice little early defender that just trades off with one of their disguised creatures, which is kind of what we're looking to do here. And nothing here. Doesn't really matter what we take. I guess I'll take the uncommon, and then we get one last pick, and I will build this deck, make a bunch of cuts, and see you after deck building with what will be the final version that we're going to run into the queue here. Slime Begins to Humanity, no thanks. So I'm going to go ahead and build this deck, and I'll see you after deck build. Alright, this is where I ended up after deck build. Kept a couple of the 6 drops. Investigators as a little bit of value, Vein Ripper obviously, and Interrogators for the win con. Got 3 out colds, 2 slices, a Extracted Confession. Did keep Fae Flight in here specifically just to like protect our Vein Ripper potentially. We've got Jetsam, and Lost in the Maze. We've got, you know, just some value creatures up here. I think this deck is going to, in my opinion, perform slightly better than our last blue-black deck, mainly because of, you know, the good creatures that we do have, but we've got a good amount of value here. You know, good old 2-for-1 with Agent, potential 2-for-1. Got Fairy Snoop drawing us cards, Interrogators drawing us an extra card, nice 2-for-1, out colds. Of course, to kill is a nice removal spell that gets you something on your side too. I think it's going to perform a little bit better than we did last time. Don't know how good it's going to be, but you're going to find out with me. See you in game number 1. Alright, we are up first, and we have our ramp spell to get us to Vein Ripper. We just need one more swamp and this to survive for us to really just get there. So we'll keep this, go Agent on 2, because we don't really have another play. Researcher on 3, and then go from there. Got rid of a Plains, playing against red-white. What's new? Best deck in the format versus worst deck in the format. Let's see what we got here. If I'm lucky, I can trade this thing off for a Dog Walker. Yeah, I could trade off for that too. And we'll play this, and now if this survives for 2 turns, we can get out of Vein Ripper on turn 5. Also, Vein Ripper, is that not just like the most disturbing name you've heard of? Like, disturbing Magic card name you basically ever heard? I think I might just out cold these just for value here. Go ahead and resolve that. Just tap them down. Make sure they can't get at me here. Please let Researcher survive. Inside Source. No. Another disguise creature. Sure. And they did pass off the suspectedness here. Alright, well, this is easy. No attacks. Alright, they're going pretty wide here. Can we beat them with a 6-5 in the air? Well, let's try. And then we can flip this up, get extra value, block some things. Gotta look out for On the Job here. On the Job is going to be a card that could kill us out of nowhere. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about a little bit. So let's go to blockers. Let's do this, this, and this. See if On the Job is the card in hand. If it is, it kind of blows us out here. Gadget Technician, sure. Guess we're taking a land here. And pass the damage. Okay. Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, that's so stupid. I forgot it had other abilities that are just ridiculous. Yeah, that's what happens with bomb rares sometimes. Alright, we're up first again, and we have a removal spell and a tempo spell here, so I'm gonna keep it because this can kill their disguise creature on turn 3, which is basically all I'm planning to do with it. So, let's see if they play a white. Not exactly yet. Hello again. We're a bit far away from you this time. We need some swamps, but maybe we'll get there. Alright, so this can kill an X2. See if they play a disguised creature. If they do, I'm just going to kill it. Sure. And what did we get? Concealed weapon. Okay. Yeah, this means if we draw a swamp next turn, we also have a turn 5 Vein Ripper again. That's a good one. But we do have Slice from Shadows for that, potentially. Or Extract a Confession, I guess? Yeah, let's just guarantee we can get a good creature with this now. How do they sacrifice itself? Oh, they just... No, never mind. It died to extract a confession. I was confused. I was like, what is going on? No need to attack. We can hold this up to untap the swamp and kill an X2. Like if they play another disguise creature here, that's what my plan is. Sure. See if they have a trick to save it or something. No, don't kill my researcher. Galvanize. I need the researcher to have a chance at casting Vein Ripper here. Really awkward still. It was a Mistway Spy and a Gleaming Geardrig. Not bad. Okay, pass it back, I guess. I might just cast Flotsam and then crack the clue and see if I can hit a land. Unless I need to out-cold something here. Boo. I need this. 4 mana draw card. Never been better. Oh, this is so bad. I almost considered playing 18 lands in this deck. I feel like we're going to need a lot of lands, but we are struggling right now. What does this flip for? 5? I'm probably just going to out-cold whatever they play. It's the most mana efficient thing to do. If we hit a land next turn, we can disguise this and also crack a clue. Or if we hit a swamp, we can disguise this and play Case. This, my friends, is why you play your creatures post-combat. Oh, do they have reasonable doubt? Well, it can't be countered, so don't do that. It looks like they might actually have reasonable doubt, which is not good news for us. Okay, let's do this, and I need to try to hit my land drops, so I'm going to crack this now. See if we draw a land. Nope. 19 cards. I guess 6 lands. We just put 2 of them in the yard, though. We were so close to a turn 5 Vein Ripper, and here it is turn 8 or whatever, and we are nowhere. Unfortunately, can't block that because they have over 5 mana here. And we're starting to kind of have it get taken away from us. Yeah, just can't hit lands. Alright, go ahead. Yeah, I mean, if you get this stuck on lands, you're not really gonna win. And now they get to solve their case. Okay. Does that do anything for us? I mean, we get a couple more creatures, but like, it's not great. We're probably dead next turn, even if we draw a swamp to play Vein Ripper here. Yeah, so they did have reasonable doubt. I figured that's what they had in their hand. Oof. Yeah, Dog Walker, sure. Oh, okay. Well, that's that's game. Okay, just got stuck on lands. Can't really do anything about that. 'Tis Magic the Gathering sometimes. Alright, we are up first again. Got a good hand this time. Again, do need lands though, so we will see if we can find them. That's 1, I'll take it. Swamps are better though, because we do have Vein Ripper in the deck. Market Watch Phantom. Well, the most mana efficient thing to do is this. So that is what I'm going to do. Might have to take a couple of hits. And I guess we lose then, don't we? Unfortunately. War Leader's Call is busted. It's almost like red-white just doesn't need any help. But War Leader's Call's like, I can assist you. I guess we're casting out cold here and hoping we can find lands on our way to a Vein Ripper that might stabilize for us? I don't know. Jeez, what a card. Red white. Hmm? Okay, and I suppose I don't get all of the value. I suppose I'll do this because it is suspected, and that's a bit more of a problem for me. Sure. Just have to kind of survive a bit here. What is that, dog walker? What else you got? More creatures, I'm sure. Sacrificing a creature. Okay, I guess we do this. They do have priority, which means this is probably a dog walker here, which means we're probably already dead. Yep, there's the dog walker. We are at 7. We are block, takes 6. If they have a creature, we lose. Alright. War Leader's Call. Can't beat it. Alright, for this next game, let's see if we can avoid playing against an aggro deck for the 5th time in a row here today. The answer, unfortunately, is no. It's red-white. Once again. Yeah. Or it's a spicy brew. Let's see. Green. It's a spicy brew. Okay. They've got something interesting going on over there. Can't block it anyway. And pass it back. I think we have to cast Fairy Snoop Disguised so we can try to hit a land drop next turn if we do happen to miss it. Oh, they're just all of the colors. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4, and a blue. Oh my goodness. Okay, this thing is getting all kinds of value. They're just going to sacrifice this turn now that they milled 3 and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands back on the battlefield. 2 of them are surveil lands. I can't really complain. I can't really, complain about, them ramping from 4 to 10. So you did it. Good job. Can you do anything with that 10 mana now? Wow. Good for you. That's the best I've ever seen that card be. Like, by a lot. Meanwhile, we're over here with our mono black deck. Do they have every land out of their deck at this point? This is crazy. They have 11 on the battlefield and 3 in the yard. They have 14 lands out of their deck. And it's turn 4. Oh, and they have a Tolsimir, so we might just be dead. And Etrata, rare, mythic, myth land drop. Sure. Alright, well, we are now 1 in 5, or 1 in 6 with blue-black decks in this format. Not looking good for the Archetype, unfortunately. I did think this one was going to be better. Granted, we ran up against a couple of insane decks here. Like, we ran up against a turn 3 War Leader's Call, which is almost impossible to beat. We ran up against the world's best Aftermath analyst that I've ever seen. Which is going to be tough to beat, obviously. Oh, and it has to block Fairy Snoop and stuff. Alright, and we're land screwed, so I'm going to save us all time here and just go ahead and concede. And go 1 in 3 with a blue-black deck. Wah, wah, wah. We had one of the best rares in the set. It did win us the single game that we won, but good for you, opponent. I can't really blame you for winning as you did, but I post every draft I do here, win or lose, and you're going to see this one. We didn't see our pack 1 pick 1 the entire draft, which was unfortunate either. But a little bit of missed land drops and land screw kicks you out of the draft. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time for your daily draft.